Good morning, family, and welcome to Morning Heart Devotion with Dr. Cheon Yong, brought to you by our Heavenly Parents Holy Community. Let's begin by greeting our Heavenly Parent and true parents. 천지엔 참부모님께 경배. 바로. Now for our family pledge, 가정 맹세. 1. 자녀급 주인, 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 번향 땅을 찾아 번연의 창조의 상인 지상 천국과 천상 천국을 창건할 것을 맹세하나이다. 2. 자녀급 주인, 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님을 모시어 전주의 대표적 가정이 되며 중심적 가정이 되어 가정에서는 효자, 국가에서는 중심, 세계에서는 성인, 전주에서는 성자의 가정의 도리를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 3. 자녀급 주인, 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 4대 심정권과 3대 왕권과皇族권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 4. 자녀급 주인, 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님의 창조의 상임 천주대 가족을 형성하여 자유와 평화와 통일과 행복의 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 5. 자녀급 주인, 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 매일 주체적 천상세계와 대상적 지상세계의 통일을 향해 전진적 발전을 촉진화할 것을 맹세하나이다. 6. 자녀급 주인, 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 장 부모님의 대신 가정으로서 천운을 움직이는 가정이 되어 하늘의 축복을 주변에 연결시키는 가정을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 7. 자녀급 주인, 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 본연의 혈통과 연결된 위하는 생활을 통하여 심정문화 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 8. 자녀급 주인, 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 자녀급 시대를 맞이하여 절대 신앙, 절대 사랑, 절대 복종으로 신인의 일체 이상을 이루어 지상 천국과 천상 천국의 해방권과 석방권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. And to open us up with prayer this morning, I'd like to invite up Mrs. Andrea Thiemann.
Good morning. Please join me in prayer. Precious Heavenly Parents, our beloved true parents, good morning. Thank you so much for this new day, this crisp morning, summer morning. We're so grateful, Heavenly Parents, to be able to join together here as a family to receive your words. We heard Dr. Yong speaking yesterday about assertion, how we must be so assertive in the way that we speak, so confident in what we speak, Heavenly Parent. And I know that to gain that confidence, we really need to deeply understand your words and to really take it into our hearts. So Heavenly Parent, I pray that today, as we receive this spiritual food, that we can really let it sink into our hearts, that we can let it give us the answers that we've been looking for, that we can really be able to find, Heavenly Parent, that confidence that we have in ourselves, and really connect, Heavenly Parent, to your words, to our own lives, to find ways to bring these words to life, and to find that confidence, Heavenly Parent, to really be able to share your words with others. We're so grateful for each and every opportunity that you give us to grow, to mature, to deepen our understanding, to deepen our ability to love others, Heavenly Parent, to give to others, to live for the sake of others, to practice all those things that your parents have taught us and have so well, exemplified to us. And so many of us, so many of our leaders and central figures, able figures have exemplified so well. We want to be able to be true examples, Heavenly Parent, of people who can live by your word. So please allow us to open our hearts and minds this morning. Allow us to really, truly understand the words that you're sharing with us. I know that many times we are the ones who put up those walls and those barriers, Heavenly Parents, that our own preconceived notions that keep us from doing and being our best. So I pray that those walls will come down with each and every morning devotion, with each and every opportunity to study your word, and better prepare us, Heavenly Parent, to really achieve our highest potential. I thank you so much for your investment in us through our central figures, through our able figures. I thank you so much, Heavenly Parent, for your unchanging love, your unchanging determination, and that we can learn, Heavenly Parent, each and every day that the words that you had for us from the very beginning of human history are the same today as they were back then. And we are changing in our ability to receive them. And for that, we are truly, truly grateful. I pray that you can, through this morning devotion, be able to give the unique things that our brothers and sisters need. You know their needs so well, Heavenly Parents. You know their hearts so well. And you know their struggles. So I pray that each and every brother and sister will really receive your word and receive your love. I know your words, your truth is really your love for us. So I thank you so much, Heavenly Parent. You shower us with your love each and every day. I sincerely thank you, and I offer up this prayer in the name and on behalf of our brothers and sisters gathered here. And in my name, Andrea Thaman, the Thaman family, Blessed Central family.
Aju, thank you, Andrea Thaman. Your prayer is always comes from your heart. That's why your prayer really moved my heart always. Thank you so much, Andrea Thaman. 감사합니다.
Yeah, thank you so much, Andrea. Okay, I really feel the word is God's love, and if we keep praying, we will all be restored for sure. Family, let's now go into our breakouts and share our appreciations this morning and come back in a few minutes. Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I hope you enjoyed your breakout. To share first, I'd like to invite up Reverend Sebastian Weimer.
Good morning, Dr. Yang.
Hey, Sebastian, Reverend Sebastian. Okay.
안녕하십니까?
네.
반갑습니다.
Me too.
Good morning, everybody, brothers and sisters. My experience was over the weekend, my daughter finds movies to watch that will make me cry. So we watched The Ode to My Father. It's a movie in Korean with English subtitles. And it's basically it starts with the evacuation of Hongnam, with troops pulling away from the shore, the boats leaving, and because the Chinese, 500,000 million of Chinese are coming in, you can see them coming closer and closer. And then this one Korean lieutenant is talking to the captain, please, all these people. And they already gone out, and he comes back in and basically decides to unload all their equipment and say, let's get everybody on there. So that starts right there. And then the movie ends with the process of people, families finding each other on TV. And anyway, it's such a heart-rendering movie. I really want to encourage you to watch it, everybody. It's the Ode to My Father. And it shows the Korean heart and the incredible quality of the Korean people. So I just want to thank you, Dr. Yang. And I was with Young Owen and Milhananda Breakout, and just so grateful because truly the Korean people have the quality to save the world. So anyway, that's my gratitude.
Wow, thank you so much, Reverend Sebastian. I'm the one who appreciate you. You are always have that kind of grateful heart to anyone. I really appreciate Sebastian. You are really one of the really good friends. Always we can share artistically. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sebastian, 감사합니다.
Thank you.
Sebastian. Yeah, it was a beautiful talk we had. And I know Mrs. Mi-young Owens, I know you didn't want to share, but can I invite you to share anyway? At Mi-young?
Yeah, I told him not to call me. I don't look so good. Actually, I woke up in the night. I couldn't go to sleep for a long time. So I took Advil, so much headache, just to barely wake up. Oh, I got to anyway, so okay. Yesterday I met one of my contact. This girl is Tamaris. Actually, I couldn't meet him for a long time. And then actually I try meeting Korean people, many contact, but really difficult Korean people. And when I'm meeting, and those people who didn't come church, they were Christian church. Christian church, really difficult. So recently, Dr. Yong asked us calling us go to new things in the college student. So I tried to join the college student, and because I couldn't go every day, I just went to Wednesday. And I met this girl last week. One man is looks like she didn't answer the phone, but this girl is nice in high school, just go to high school, and just try to also Bergen BCC in community college, and she's very good. Usually, because I joined church when I was 18, so she's 18. Maybe America 17. So I want to find a young girl, young student, try to intensely and they can more artist girl, more strong based growing up, and they can kind of have a blessing. The young people better than old people. And she's very good. She's from Bolivia, and she said she goes to church too, but she came. She's interesting. She likes me. Also, she wants to learn Korean. So, what this week she was the Disney World trip, so she come back next week. But me also, I got to my visit my son and daughter. My daughter was one it's a grandson last Saturday. So
Okay.
she wants to go. I tried to go help her some 1 week and come back after maybe July 4th. And her time is like same time out of country. So after July 4th, try to meet again. And she has time to 2 months. So she goes back to school like September. And after that, with appointment, she can come to Christian Church. I hope come to and learn divine principle.
Yes.
1 hour. And she wants to learn Korean, so I can teach Korean too.
Okay, great.
So maybe I'm really grateful find one young teenager girl, and I hope it can really accept well study one by one. So thank you.
Thank you so much, 조미영 권사님, Owens. You always carry on the spirit of the witnessing. That's why you are the one who witnessed our, John Jackson, Reverend John Jackson. You are Reverend John Jackson's spiritual mother. You are really, I really admire in such age, very often go out for witnessing. You are one of the model figure. I'm really proud. You are a Korean. Thank you.
Yes, thinking at me, and yeah, your sharing is always like so really staccato, and I really feel you're really protecting people through your witnessing efforts. So thank you so much. And with that, brothers and sisters, let's welcome up Dr. Yong, open up our hearts for our morning heart devotion today.
안녕하세요. Good morning, my dear brothers and sisters, clergy and members for peace. 안녕하십니까? Today, I'd like to talk about life as owners of the 천일국 from True Mother's Anthology, Book 1. Let's study.
Life as owners of Cheongguk. True parents have opened the age of Cheongguk, an age where the second generation must carry out its responsibility to true parents. That is why I have chosen as this year's motto, let us become true owners of Cheongguk who practice true love in resemblance to our Creator, the Heavenly Parent. To become the true owners, you first need to meet true parents. It is through true parents that you have been enabled to stand in the position of the owners. Thus, you have come to stand in the most precious and proud position in all of history. Now, you need to open the way for all 7 billion human beings on earth to stand in the same position as you. That is your responsibility. It is to create one world, one culture, centered on the Heavenly Parent. You are in the position where you can save the 7 billion people of the world. True parents have opened a new indemnity-free era, and yet the whole of the world's population is still waiting for true parents. Only when we fulfill our responsibility by restoring all 7 billion people can we move on to the era that is free of indemnity. To accomplish this, each and every one of you has the important responsibility of saving the countries, the world, all peoples. If you want your future descendants to live in a world free from indemnity, you must accomplish this. You have received great blessings in the new age of Cheongguk. Now, you need to become proud filial children and loyal subjects who can unite with true parents and establish new traditions. You are truly happy people because you have true parents. I've always said that the more happiness you share with others, the bigger it grows. Only by sharing like this can we build the kingdom of heaven on earth. And after we have created the kingdom of heaven on earth, we will next go to the kingdom of heaven in heaven. You should not forget that you stand in the most important central position.
Yes, True Mother said, true parents have opened the age of 천일국, an age where the second generation must carry out its responsibility to true parents. Just as Moses died in the wilderness, and Joshua and Caleb, who inherited his faith, entered Canaan, we have now entered the era in which the second generation become the owners on the foundation of the first generation's dedication, indemnity, and sacrifice. Now we first generation should hurry up and do our best to nurture the second generation and hand over our responsibilities to them. I am trying to expand the base with a foundation centered on 12 people in the three-position foundation, which is a Trinity. You know that we are really, I follow the True Mother direction to raising up our second generation. I'm really very, very much proud of our national leader, his second generation, and Miran and Joshua, three guys, kind of like, my Trinity. They are really working very hard, always front line, and they show the model. I feel whenever I think about them, I really can feel their promising future in America. As I do here, I hope that each sub-region will start training 3 disciples centering on the sub-regional leader and create a foundation of the 12 people. If possible, would be even better if these 12 people are second generation who have received a blessing. Someone say, oh, Dr. Yong, why only you talking about raising up 3 boys as a second generation? No. Any boy received a blessing, they are their spouse, centering on couples. In addition, True Mother said that only when we fulfill our responsibility by restoring all 7 billion people can we move on to the era that is free of indemnity. For us to enter an era where there is no indemnity, 천일국 must first expand to at least the national level. True Mother continued, you have received a great blessing in the new age of the 천일국. Happiness grows the more you share it. Only then will it become a heaven on earth. Blessing grows as they are shared. But on the other hand, if we only receive a blessing and do not multiply it, it will always retreat. The authority of the blessing is multiplication. Trees that fail to multiply are eventually cut and burned by their owners. True Father said that if we do not multiply after receiving blessing, the blessing becomes a curse. Living life always grows and multiplies and develops. Those who are spiritually alive always have more spiritual children. They always concerned about a new life. How can I save more people? That are always concerned about the salvation. Those who are, their spiritual life is alive, always concerned for new life. And their foundation of love expands more and more. It is proof that their spirit is alive. No? That's why my brothers and sisters now, our movement now very much focused on the new life movement. So it does not matter your age. Just now I'm inspired by Yong Owen, and she's still trying to witness, contact young people and teaching Korean and introduce divine principle. That kind of spirit, how much beautiful. As long as we are alive, we have a mission. What kind of the mission? Our main mission is to save people's soul. As long as we carry on that kind of spirit, God bless us to extend our life more and become more healthier than before. My brothers and sisters, the most beautiful thing is what? Saving people's life. Living divine principle, today I again talk about the realm of God's direct dominion. Let's study EDP.
God's direct dominion over human beings. What is the meaning of God's direct dominion over human beings? Once Adam and Eve had perfected themselves as individuals centered on God, they were to live together as one, forming the four-position foundation in their family. Living in oneness with God's heart, they would have led a life of goodness, sharing the fullness of love and beauty with Adam as the head of the family. What will the world be like when the natural world abides under the direct dominion of human beings? When a fully mature person relates with the diverse things in nature as his object partners, they come together to form a four-position foundation. People who are in total resonance with God's heart will lead the natural world in the free-flowing sharing of love and beauty, and the entire universe will realize goodness. In such a manner, human beings will exercise direct dominion over all things.
Let's study further.
The realm of God's direct dominion is an absolute realm. What is the standard for perfection? Human beings mature at the age of 17 or 18, which means growing from the bottom up to the midpoint. Because of this, if you focus on the realm of the heart, centered absolutely on true parents, your life will become connected in the horizontal world. Without this, the access of heart is not possible. According to the principle, if you talk about the realm of God's heart centering on the vertical standard, the realm of God's direct dominion cannot be invaded by Satan.
Very important guidance. When Adam and Eve reached the age of 17 or 18, they mature and reach the standard of the perfection, Father said. However, the fact that Adam and Eve fell at the age of 17 and 18 is that they ate of the forbidden fruit without God's permission while spiritually immature. No matter how much Adam and Eve mature physically, they are one-sided decisions and actions without consulting with the heavenly parents means that they were immature internally and spiritually. Already they physically already reach perfection level at the age of the 17 or 18 years old. That means already spiritually also reach that level. Only problem, immature means do not without God's permission. They made a decision by themselves to having relationship with Archangel. That was the problem, That's why Father saying that any human being reach to 17 or 18 years old, that is a really perfect age to receive the blessing. No matter how much Adam and Eve really matured physically, if they really, without receiving about the God's permission, God's allowance, that is spiritually immature. If Adam and Eve had a heart of the filial piety toward God when they were 17 or 18 years old, and they were in a position of a complete unity with God, they could have held a wedding ceremony with God's permission and enter God's direct dominion. Therefore, because of God's direct dominion refers to God's realm of heart and the realm of the perfection, it is God's absolute realm that cannot be invaded by Satan. That's why Father is saying that already we are entered the God's original, the era of the God's original creation. Already no more indemnity. That's why Father said, I want to bless to all second generation, third generation, based upon their age, 16, 17, 18 years old. Wow, different era. Actually, Adam and Eve were supposed to receive the blessing at the age of 16, 17, 18 years old. And then Father initiated, because now era is different. After restoration and indemnity, already we are entered God's original creation. That's why I really absolutely follow true parents' direction. My children, all of them, matched and receive the blessing at the 16, 17, 18 years old. You know, many people say, oh, they are immature. Do you think they become 25 and 30 years old? Then do you think they become mature? What are you talking about? Most pure time, they need to receive the blessing. Father said they are getting old, already more than 20 years old, and go to the university and college, become more secularized. That's why Father said the most important time, 17, 18. Of course, they don't have much concept about the economy, many things. That is the second matter. How they offer their most pure time for God, centering on filial piety. That is the point. We need to understand what is the Father's intention, why he wants to give blessing to our second third generation based upon 17, 18, 16 years old. I really now understand. When I practice it, I receive incredible blessing from through Father. Of course, there is some kind of negative point, this and that, everything, everywhere. But uniting with the Father's direction, through parents' direction, very important point. Next.
The realm of God's direct dominion is the realm of heart. The realm of God's direct dominion begins from the realm of heart. You should be aware that where there is no realm of heart, where there is no way for the realm of heart to develop, you must remain in the fallen realm. Do you understand what this means? You need to understand this from the standard of the principle. Do you understand this? Yes. What is heart? What is the realm of heart and how does it appear? The realm of heart arises when the relationship between parents and children deepens. When you unite with God and unite with true parents, the realm of heart in heaven appears in the kingdom of heaven in heaven, and the realm of heart on earth develops in the kingdom of heaven on earth. This is what you must do.
Yes. You know, our faith course includes the foundation of faith and the foundation of substance that must be achieved in the realm of indirect dominion. I'm telling you again, the foundation of faith and the foundation of substance, that kind of course is under the God's indirect dominion. And there is the course of the foundation of heart, where we enter the realm of the perfection in God's direct dominion upon receiving the blessing. Therefore, the realm of God's direct dominion begins from the realm of heart. Then, where does heart come from? When you start a family, you experience the four great realms of heart, and you come to know the heart of God. However, true Father said that the realm of the heart appear when your parent and child relationship with the heavenly parent deepens. Based on the parent and child relationship with God, the children's heart and siblings' heart and couple's heart and the parent's heart develop. 효정 is the most important thing in a children's heart, and 효정 eventually leads to siblings' heart and couple's heart, and finally connects to the parent's heart. The realm of the direct dominion is the realm of the absolute heart. The parent and child relationship between God and human cannot be separated. Today's youth ministry do not treat people with preconceptions, but with the heart of the parent. Very important. When I prepare this content, I really again and again realize that, the preconception, how much it disturbs us to grow up with religious study.
Do not treat people with preconceptions, but with the heart of a parent. In our normal life of faith, we must try to measure with our Shimjung antennas just how much interest and attachment we have in others. Most people with dull hearts have a habitual life. Such people are hard to resurrect. Longing cannot emerge in people with habits and preconceptions. Pastors and leaders who look at members and are and are not always able to long for them, but remember their flaws, cannot grow. This is always a big problem. How I can wash this away and change is important. If you try to treat or recognize someone with the preconceptions you have seen so far in the notion of a pastor or member, that person has no potential for development. We must become people who can always deal with new notions.
Yes, we need to check how much interest and attachment we have toward others in our daily life of faith. A person who has no concern for people cannot expect spiritual growth and resurrection. Usually people with a dull heart lead a habitual life or treat others with preconceived notions. People who are always habitual and have a certain preconceived notions when dealing with others have no longing or a happy heart toward people. They cannot grow because it is easy for them to see flaws or weak point in other person, and they see the other negatively. If I only look at the flaws, which is a weak point of the other person, I will not able to grow forever. Then the key is how to treat people anew without preconceptions.
It is very difficult if people in the position of a minister, core member, or able figure treat people with preconceptions. Regarding preconceived notions and habits, True Father said that it was a ragged state. This ragged state means looking at others with preconceived notions. It is dealing with them with an outlook from your own experiences. That is why the question is how you can throw away preconceived notions whenever you deal with people. If there is something that they did wrong in the past, you must try to forget it. You must think that anyone can change. You must make effort to always see the other person in a new way and forget the wrongdoings of the past. You can improve that person only by forgetting their mistakes and trying to treat them anew.
Yeah, this is a very important point. We must think that our heart, which treat the pastor and central members and the people in Abel's position with a preconceived notion, is my enemy. Do you understand what I'm talking about? What is my enemy? Preconception is my enemy. As long as I carry on preconception, wow, this is really very hard to change myself, really disturbing you so much. If you already fixed your preconception, difficult to change your own self, difficult to really grow up yourself. If you wear black glasses and look at the people or things, everything looks black. In addition, because people regard the view they have experienced as absolute, they view and evaluate others based on the standards they have experienced. My husband like this all the time, this guy, he cannot change. My wife is like that all the time. My children is like that all the time. My neighbors, always this guy is like that. My boss is like that. Korean leaders normally like that all the time. Japanese leaders are like that all the time. If you fix that kind of preconception, wow, this is your enemy, this is my enemy. As long as we have that kind of preconception and that kind of preconceived notion, wow, you cannot improve. Because one looks at others with preconceptions like this, they make many mistakes and can't make any further progress. So how can we get rid of the preconceived notions? First, if the other person has done something wrong in the past, you should try to forget it. You need to forget it. You need to forget it. You need to forgive. Without forgiving, without forgetting, you cannot remove of the preconception. Secondly, we must think that everyone can change, great potential to be changed. But your idea already fixed. This guy never changed. This guy is impossible. My husband, I no need to mention anymore. My wife, no need to mention anymore. Cannot change, impossible to change. If you fixed your idea or your preconception like that, no hope. No hope. If you have that kind of strong preconception, God cannot intervene you anymore because already you completely close your heart and mind, already fixed your idea. How can God intervene you? Cannot intervene you. We must constantly try to see the other person anew and try to forget the mistakes of the past. You can improve a person only by forgetting their mistakes and trying to treat them anew. When Heavenly Father look at you, you're a fallen man. Oh, this is fallen my son, this is fallen my daughter. Impossible to change. If God has that kind of preconception to each one of the human being, his restoration is impossible. Impossible. But how Heavenly Father dealing with each one of the human being? So next slide, I want to explain.
People who remember the other person's wrongdoings have no possibility of growing spiritually. Parents often forget their children's wrongdoings. That is why a parent's heart is always mysterious. Parents often forget their children's faults. They forget well and always treat them with curiosity. Of course, not all parents are like that, but because parents have attachment and love for their children, even if they see small wrongdoings, they forget them. When they forget, they expect more, care more, and encourage more. How renewed would it be if our pastors and leaders today had interpersonal relationships with a parental heart? Do not treat people with preconceived notions. Do not treat others with rag-like thoughts. Always connect my life with the will. In order to deal with disposition, you must always be serious.
Yes, answer is here. The way to get rid of the preconceived notion and always treat people anew is to treat them with parental heart. Parents often forget what their children have done wrong. So the parent's heart is always mysterious, right? But someone made a mistake, you remember forever. Cannot forgive. Always keep in your mind. However, for your own children case made some problem, and always try to forgive. And always you have the positive thinking. My son, my daughter can be changed. Always parental heart to our children have a very positive concept. My children can do. My children can change someday. Have that kind of the heart, parental heart. Only that kind of parental heart can forgive someone and erase your preconception. Parents often forget their children's faults, wrongdoing. They forget well and always treat them with curiosity. This is important point. Curiosity. He can change. She can change. My husband can change. My Cain can change. My Abel can change. Always based upon God's heart, which is a parental heart. Of course, not all parents are like that. But because the parents have that kind of attachment and love for their children, even if they see small wrongdoings and they forget them, when they forget, they expect more and care more and encourage more. This is the parental heart. No matter what, how much children made a mistake, and then always try to encourage. You can do it. You can do it. You can overcome it. Wow, this parental heart is so beautiful. That's why Heavenly Father, how He restored the fallen human being, because God has a parental heart. When He sees children's fault, problems, and God thinks, that is my fault. That is my problem. I want to be responsible. That is the heart of the parents. How renewed would it be if our pastor and leaders totally had interpersonal relations with a parental heart? In other words, let's look from God's point of view and from the point of view that everyone is God's child. Final slide.
Most pastors in charge of a church do not have an able of heart. They do not try to receive guidance from anybody. And there is no one who says what the members are saying about the pastor. You go wherever, wake up late, and if you say that you are late because you were praying, you can use that as an excuse. Also, the pastor can make excuses for doing so because of fasting, and they become the pastor who can give any number of excuses. The pastor's position is not a place for anyone to interfere, so they must take good care of themselves.
Yes. Most of the pastors in church, in charge of the church, or not just only pastor, any leadership figure, and the head of some organization, do not have an able of heart. They do not seek the guidance from anyone. That's why most of the pastors and leadership figure very arrogant. Do you know why? Because they don't have able, no able. Such people are no longer developing. Their spiritual life is no longer resurrecting. Then how can pastors and leaders become humble and grow? Even if each younger person or one of your subordinates think that you have something to learn from them and treat them with interest. You should treat all people as your teachers. The pastors and leaders' position is not a place for anyone to interfere. So they must take good care of themselves. Leaders or pastors who say that they do not respect anyone in their life of faith no longer develop. Therefore, find someone around you whom you respect all the time. Do not think that you only respect God and true parents and Jesus. If they are better than you in any field, they are your teacher and you are able. That's why I treat everybody, you are my teacher, you are my able. If you have that kind of attitude, even though you are pastor or leader, affiliated organization leader, does not matter. Treat everybody, you are my teacher. You are my able. If we have that kind of beautiful mindset, how good it is. In the position where you think you are the best, I am the best guy, without me, no one can do. This is really arrogant. There is only pride. Pride is the spearhead, vanguard of destruction. That's why I have to be careful, those who have the leader position. You know, I'm telling you again, the pride is the spearhead, vanguard of the destruction. These are really terrible things. That's why whether we have to be humble, serving anyone. You are my teacher. You are my able. Centering on parental heart all the time. That we can even erase the concept of the preconception and habitual life of faith. Thank you very much, my brothers and sisters. Living testimony. I think our MC Miran can introduce today's testimony, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Yong. Yeah, so many key words today that we're taking away. So And now for our living testimony, I'm happy to welcome up Rosia Schmidt. She has been leading CARP Chicago as the CARP director there. As I understand, they have some exciting developments, and to share those developments with you all, please help me in welcoming up Mrs. Rosia Schmidt.
Morning.
Morning.
Thank you, Dr. Yong. Thank you, Milhan.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm grateful to be able to share a little something about my journey and a little bit about our journey creating CARP, developing CARP here in Chicago and in the Midwest. My personal witnessing journey, the reason why I witness and I feel like I can't stop, even though sometimes I really want to, is because Mother asks us, even this morning in Dr. Young's first reading from the memoir, Mother was saying this is our responsibility. And the more that I teach principle to the guests, the more that I really realize, the importance of our role and how crucial it is, the first disciples of Jesus, how crucial they were in spreading Christianity to be what it is today. That's who we are. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I wanted to say that my personal witnessing journey began when I was a staff for the GPA program. I had the incredible opportunity to become a staff for the Cheon missionary program when GPA took that mission on. And Mother called young adults to witness to the world. And I felt deeply that that was my calling too. I was a staff for this program, but I didn't feel qualified. But I learned so much from all the CARP leaders and CARP chapters that we supported as Cheon missionaries. And I also saw how incredibly transformative witnessing is on the life of faith of a second generation. It completely changes our relationship with God, with true parents, with the divine principle, when we as second generation can witness. And so my heart, I really fought, honestly, becoming the director for CARP in Chicago and for getting involved in the Midwest CARP because I didn't feel qualified or ready or it's a lot of responsibility to take on. But I am so motivated to keep CARP alive and active and to have witnessing a part of our second generation's lives when they come off of GPA. So that's why I do what I do. But most importantly, I witness because of True Parents' words, and my conscience won't let me sit still unless I can witness. So my heart has been at peace, even though it hasn't been easy, as long as I can witness. And we're only witnessing a couple hours a week, but in my own personal life and witnessing, I've noticed that I had a breakthrough in the same way and for the same reason I think that our CARP Midwest and our CARP Chicago could have breakthroughs. So I wanted to share that journey a little bit with you all. I've been witnessing with CARP, I think, since about 2018, on and off, but I really joined seriously and as a part of the team in 2020. But at that time, we were online and we were home, and that was the year that my first daughter was born, Anna. She's almost 2 now. And at first, I could bring her to campus with me for witnessing. Babies are very small and they sleep a lot, and they're very compact and travel friendly. So I would bring her to campus with me and to CARP activities and to our club meetings. And sometimes my mother-in-law would come, and sometimes I would bring her on my own. And it was a little bit easier to do. But as she's getting older and she's walking around and running around and needing more things to do, it's been hard to bring her to campus, or hard to bring her with me. And I got to a breaking point, honestly, where I didn't want to leave her home, but I didn't want to stop witnessing. And I was praying, asking God, what should I do? Like, what's what do I make the priority? And I was praying in the car on the way to campus, feeling very torn one day. And when I got to campus and when we started witnessing, my first approach for 2 years, we hadn't had any results or any guests come consistently to study principal, or for a year and a half, anyways, with CARP, since I had joined very strongly with CARP. And that day, after that prayer, the very first person that I approached, her name was Lily. And right away, she agreed to study principal. And what she told me is, she said, you know, I've never had an experience with God, but I know that God is sending someone to guide me to him, to be able to break through in my relationship with him. And so right away, she agreed to study principal with me. And she started to study consistently. And it was the first guest in 2 years that studied consistently with us. And at that moment, what I felt God telling me was both. I need you to do both. Yeah. But there's a key here that's different, because part of why I didn't want to leave Anna at home is because I know the history of our movement and our first gen and what they had to do. And I think we can change or evolve, and that's, you know, from what sacrifices were made in the past, even though we still need, true parents still need us, and our mission and our calling is very important. What could be different is because my parents and my in-laws have been so willing and able and supportive. Just less than a year ago, last year, in the fall of last year, my in-laws started to move into our home and began to live with us. And honestly, it's not always easy for me to live with my in-laws, but I'm so incredibly grateful for them. Because when I leave Anna at home, she has the love of grandparents, which is even better than parents. She gets spoiled by them.
Yeah.
Which she wouldn't if I were home and making sure she's not eating ice cream or whatever. So she gets a greater love because I can go and do the work that I feel God is calling me to do. And through my relationship with my in-laws, I feel that I'm being called to grow a lot and to change in my relationship with God. Yeah, as I'm striving to unite with my parental figures, my first generation. So that's what's brought, I think, victory in my personal witnessing life, but also in the Midwest, in CARP here, we're very unique. Every one of our witnessing hubs, each one of our CARP centers has been initiated by second generation who stand up, who want to witness, who somehow feel this calling, which is so crazy to me because my generation, anyways, we didn't always feel that calling. But second generation have stood up to try and start CARP and to witness. But we realized that we needed to involve parental figures, and we needed sincere unity with Reverend Takami, with our central figure, with our pastor. I think we've been so lucky with how involved our pastors have been. Pastor Han in Minnesota, Pastor Hero in Chicago comes to all our CARP meetings, and he knows all our guests, which is really incredible. And Pastor Hebanja in Indiana. This unity between first and second generation, once we decided we realized that's what we needed to do, which was about a year and a half ago now, or a year ago, last summer. We realized we really need to focus on bringing first generation and parental figures into our work with witnessing. We have had incredible breakthroughs. In Chicago, like I said, for some years, it was so difficult to bring students to study principal, but this year we had over 30 people come and study principal, and even over the summer, we have 5 consistent guests studying.
Wow.
And Yeah, my personal guest, there's these twins from Turkey. I know I don't want to take too much time, but they we just finished the Parallels of History, and I just wanted to show some pictures. We just finished the Parallels of History, and they're already asking, is Reverend Moon the Messiah? Is that who it is? Can you give us some hints? Where's the Messiah coming from? What part of the world? They're so excited, and they love Anna. My guests have all met my daughter, and particularly these guests that have made it so far, they give her gifts all the time and they bake her goods. And anyways, the relationship that we can have if we continue to witness as a family, and especially as a 3-generation family, is so incredibly different. This is one CARP event that my daughter and my husband went to. But yeah, I feel incredibly grateful for the ideal that God set up for a 3-generation family. It's not simple. It's not always easy, but it's definitely the most blessing can come through this model. This is our CARP Midwest workshop that we had this summer, and these are some of our guests in here. And these are the twins that I've been witnessing to. And Mrs. Takami, our sub-regional leader's wife, comes with me every week. Actually, we go twice a week, and she comes every time. I don't understand how she makes the time for it, to teach with me these wonderful sisters. So I'm so grateful for the involvement of our first generation, of our parents, and for striving to have unity as much as we can. And then I also wanted to show, there's one other sister here in Chicago, Sumika Yi. She also brings her daughter, now is like 3-4 months old, and her husband comes and helps, and they witness together too. And somehow maybe there's an incredible model that something can happen that we can start witnessing as families. I'm pregnant and another one's on the way, and I have no idea how that will change everything, but I really feel that God is blessing me so much through witnessing, and that I'm learning how to raise Anna in the future in her own faith, and that my faith is changing and growing. So I'm so grateful to God and to parents and for the opportunity to witness. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rogia Schmidt, for your beautiful testimony, very artistic report, and we are really working very hard. Do you know who is Rogia? She's a daughter of the Dr. Robert Kittle's daughter. So yeah, I closely work together with his father, and also Rogia and then her sister also study for some period in Asia, actually. That's why she knows that spirit of the Asia and also spirit of the Western world. And now really, even though she has children, but really she's focusing very much for CAB activity. I once again appreciate you are really one of the model figure for CAB activity. 감사합니다, Rogia. God bless you. And God bless your baby. Also coming another one, right? Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Rosia, for your sharing your testimony and living this out, this 3-generation witnessing. And I can feel God's really crying with you, and there's so much hope. Yeah, that we're gonna pass this generation this time. It's gonna be a good delivery this time. Okay, brothers and sisters, let's go into our breakouts and share our reflections on today's message. We'll see you back soon. Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I hope you enjoyed your breakout, had some good sharings there. To share first with everyone, I'd like to invite up Mrs. Akiko Willis.
Good morning. I was hiding. Well, this morning, especially last few weeks, I was down because my husband and I were involved in a car accident. So I didn't have a proper car to drive to go out. And also every day, Texas is so hot. Every day we have over 100, sometimes over 103, 4. This weekend gonna be 106. So, but I was so inspired by Rosia's, testimony. She really pushed herself. She challenged her limitation, and God gave her some guidance. And my little testimony is, of course, I couldn't go out so much, but God sent to me my husband's nephew's son. His parents are going through divorce. He's suffering. He's 16, but he's so pure looking, very good looking, and he's interested in Oriental culture. So we shared our heart, and we made a sushi together. We treated him, and really, of course, I couldn't go out, but God always gives me some kind of a way to witness our relatives or surroundings. So this is my testimony.
네, 감사합니다, 사키코상. I think your body is okay after accident.
Yes.
No, nobody hurt.
Yeah. My neck was a little bit painful, but yes, I'm fine. Thank you so much, Dr. Yong.
How about your husband?
Yeah, he's fine.
Oh, that's good.
My car was damaged.
All right. Thank you so much, Sakiko, for your beautiful sharing. 감사합니다.
Thank you, Sakiko-san, for your honor sharing. To share next, let me invite up Mrs. Ava Ozaki.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Dr. Yong. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much. Yeah. Yeah, I was very moved also by Rosia's testimony. She's my spiritual mother's daughter. So I know my spiritual mother, she was here for 2 weeks, helping also taking care of the baby. So she's so beautiful and I'm so grateful. And I think what really inspired me is like Rosia, she was so desperate, to find an answer to her difficulty. And then God really had to give her a very clear answer. And I think that's what, she could have decided, I'm not going to do it. She could decide it, right? But I feel that's what Dr. Yong told us today about maturity is we always involve God. We always ask God first and, ask for God's permission or God's answer. So that really moved me so much. And then everything fell in place, I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. And the other thing, Dr. Yong said, no preconceptions. And especially like he said, we cannot, about anybody can change, and sometimes I feel we are trying or, but sometimes it's not working. And again, I have to have absolute faith that everybody can change. And because he said, if God thinks we cannot change, God would do nothing, but God has this faith that anybody, that's why God goes forward. And I have to have the same heart. Anybody can change, whether my husband, my children, anybody. So I want to really have that strong faith that it is possible. Because God does it too. Thank you. So it's God's wish and it's God's will. So I will do it too. Thank you so much.
Thank you, 오자키-san. 감사합니다.
Eva, we love you so much. Yeah, thank you for your sharing. Let's go into some reminders. Number one, please invite someone to morning devotion. I promise you, God will speak to them somehow. And number two is to check out edu.familyfed.org if you haven't already. see the transcripts and other links to Dr. Yong's content, and to give joyfully from your heart. Look at the link and see how much God inspires you to give today to receive even more blessing. For our musical offering, please help me in welcoming up Reverend Desmond Green.
Dr. Yong,
Yeah, Heavenly Green.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you see my beautiful face?
Yeah, handsome face.
Yes.
Kamsahamnida.
Mm.
You know, a couple of days ago, we celebrated, Father's Day. And I was hoping to have an opportunity to sing a song related to the Father on that day.
Mm.
But that wasn't God's desire for me. So this is the day that I will render a song written by the Reverend Sun Myung Moon when he discovered the secrets of the human fall.
I see.
Grace filling me with golden light, measureless blessing divine. God gives eternal life to me. Perfect rejoicing is mine. Glorious the song ringing in my heart.
Oh, my Father.
Gratefully I give offering to him, triumphant, glorious love. Joy surging like an ocean wave, flowing so deep in my soul. Oh, prizes as I go in praise, knowing that man will be whole. Glorious the song ringing in my heart, for my Father above. Gratefully I give offering to him, triumphant, glorious love. High, limitless, eternal life, touching the top of the sky. Praise filling every part of me, blessing that never will die.
Glorious the song ring in my heart.
For my Father above. Gratefully I give offering to him, triumphant, glorious love. You've chosen me to do your will. Thankful I vow to be true. I'm pledging in my heart of hearts, Father, my life is for you. Glorious the song ringing in my heart, for my Father above. Gratefully I give offering to him, triumphant, glorious love.
Wow, thank you, Heavenly Green. Wow, you always sing the holy song all the time. Now, do not sing other song from outside world. But thank you very much, Reverend Desmond Green. 감사합니다.
Reverend Green, yes, I liked the pure form of these songs. I think God can speak to us through them. To close us out with prayer, let me invite up Mr. Joshua Fontaine.
Good morning, everybody.
Oh, Joey. Oh, yeah. Together. Beautiful from Hawaii. Wow. Good. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, please join me in prayer. Our dear beloved Heavenly Parent, true parents, thank you so much for this day that you can provide for us to be here all together on morning devotion. Yes, many people that we've been around, many people we have never met in real life or in physical, but we're able to be here together on Zoom and sharing all of this time, this content, and being able to hear people share so much of their heart. So we're really grateful to be able to do that. And yes, just having this platform, it allows us to be able to hear our true parents' words and our true parents' wisdom. And Dr. Yong has been sharing it with a lot of his heart and soul and all of his mind to give it to us so we can really feel True Father's words in its essence without any of the sugarcoating or any of the changes, but really in his pure ideal. And we have to be really grateful to be able to hear that, because especially for so many of us younger generation, we haven't been able to hear or even see True Father in some people's cases, understand his heart, but Dr. Yong is able to share that with us. So really grateful for this opportunity to be able to grow our hearts through this content. So Heavenly Parent, I pray that we can continue to invest in each other and invest in the world through learning together and supporting each other in one heart. Thank you so much, Heavenly Parent. I pray that you can be with us as we go through our day. You can bless us in all the activities we have today. And we can really feel your presence guide us in whatever it is and whoever we meet. Thank you so much. I pray and report this in your name, Rika and Josh Fontaine, Central Bus couple. Aju.
Aju, thank you, Joshua from Canada and wife from Hawaii, Rika. 감사합니다. Thank you.
Thank you, Joshua, for your prayer. And it's always good to see you both. Rika, you too. And with that, brothers and sisters, as you well know, you being here makes this such a joyful experience. So please have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow.
All right. Nice Tuesday.